Hey guys, Volcanic here, and today I'm showing off a new solar build for the Titan that's crazy good, and all revolving around the exotic gun, Sunshot, the exotic armor, Path of Burning Steps, and the new weapon mod available from the Wayfinder's Compass Defender, and the helm called Well of Ordnance. But with this build, it pretty much turns you into a walking nuke that lets you evaporate everything in your way. Sometimes it literally crashes your game due to the amount of explosions and things going on, which is pretty insane, so let's get right into it. So first off, what's this new weapon mod and what does it do? Well, it's called Well of Ordnance, and it states that picking up a solar elemental well grants you additional grenade energy. Multiple copies of this mod increase this effect. So with this build, my weapons of choice will be any blinding grenade launcher, or really any special kinetic weapon you want. Next we have Sunshot. You can also run Gunsmith class if you like, which also really good for this season, but Sunshot's better for the explosions. And then we have a linear fusion with Vorpal weapon. If you have a solar linear fusion, that would be really great too, specifically the Corsair's Wrath, which you can get through the lure from the Wrathborn hunts. Now, the Path of the Burning Steps exotic legs states that solar final blows give you a weapon damage buff to your weapons on weapon kills. This damage buff stacks to ×4, and at ×4 you'll have a 35% weapon damage buff on par with the same buff that Weapons of Light gives you. So more or less you'll have Weapons of Light at all times. We'll be using Elemental Ordnance on our legs. Think of this as a way of becoming Charged with Light, but instead it's with grenade kills and we're picking up wells to become Charged with Light. We're also running 2 copies of Intervention, which gives us that nice boost in grenade energy when we pick up an Orb of Power. Then our next mod of choice will be this one right here, Explosive Well Maker on our mark, which will give us 2 Elemental Wells every time you throw a grenade. Sunshot kills will also proc this mod as well. And of course we have Particle Deconstruction, which gives us that big 40% debuff against enemies. On our chest piece, we'll be using Font of Might, which gives us a 25% buff to all solar weapons, which stacks with the other buffs in the game as well. Then on our arms, we have Elemental Armaments, which allows our Sunshot and Linear Fusion rifle kills to create solar elemental wells. Then we also have 2 grenade kickstart mods, which gives us roughly 25 to 35% of our grenade back every time we throw it. And last we have the Well of Ordnance mod on the helm, which gives us an extra 5 to 10% ability recharge rate on our grenade for each well we pick up. And with this, we'll use 2 stacks of the Ashes to Assets mod that'll give us a nice boost of super energy on grenade kills. And then when we look at Bottom Tree Sunbreaker, we have Soul Invictus, and Soul Invictus states that you regen health on solar ability kills and melee ability kills, and that Soul Invictus generates sunspots. And we also have the perk for sunspots called Sun Warrior, which states that when we pass through a sunspot, we gain an increased grenade and melee ability recharge rate as well as increased weapon damage. Unfortunately, the increased weapon damage doesn't stack with our exotic legs, but this will allow us to create sunspots. So now we throw a grenade, we gain 2 elemental wells, and picking up these wells will pretty much get us to our next grenade. But now we'll be walking through sunspots, which gets our grenade back even faster and will give us Firewalker ×4, which has that 35% damage buff, and Font of Might, which has that 25% damage buff that's stacked together. All in all, we'll have a 68.75% buff to weapon damage, which basically means at this point you can literally just shoot the ground and it's enough to one-hit them. So you really don't have to aim, you can kind of just fire randomly and things will just explode, which is great. By the time you get to the boss, you're giving yourself that same 68.75% weapon damage buff to the boss with your linear fusion rifle on top of particle deconstruction. Pretty much completely have the full DPS combo. You're pretty much a walking nuke with this build, and it's absolutely insane, really. There's even so much explosions going on that it crashed your game, so it's pretty insane. Anyways, I think it's going to be it for this video. The rest of the video is just going to be some strike gameplay. Thanks for watching, catch you guys next time.